Hello there, Leo, and welcome to your January horoscope for 2025. These horoscopes are made specifically for people to watch in relation to their ascendant, also known as the rising sign. Secondarily, you can also watch them for your moon sign. You'll probably find it pretty accurate for that, and it will still be accurate for your sun sign. You're just going to get more accuracy for your ascendant and the moon sign. If you don't know where those are, I do have a chart calculator using the calculations that I work with, and you can find a link to that just above. Also, if you'd like to take a deep dive into your own personal horoscope, I do have several different levels of astrological service that are available for you to tap into at the link just above. So you'd never know it, but one part of you is perhaps a little bit shy, or maybe reluctant to step into the spotlight. Or perhaps even it's the fact that in stepping into the spotlight, it means that you're gonna need some help in getting there. And really, you feel like if you're gonna get there, then you should be able to get there off of your own steam. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with letting someone help you. It doesn't diminish your strength. It definitely doesn't diminish your light. You may have diminished trust in letting somebody offer you insight or a word of wisdom or two in January. And sure, when they go to offer you that word of insight, it may kind of hit like a ton of bricks and not necessarily feel like welcome information. That's more towards the middle of the month where somebody tends to drop something somewhat of a truth bomb upon you that if you're open to kind of like, not letting it hit your sensitivities, which you may be at first, then you're actually going to find a shred of truth within the words that they have to share with you. So Venus at the very beginning of the month shifts into your eighth house. That's the house of shared resources, things that we're able to accomplish with others. We know Venus as being your 10th lord. That deals with success, the limelight. Some of you may even be considering getting into things that are more performance related. And as that happens, well, one part of you is maybe a little bit kind of reluctant to like get involved with other people or afraid to step into the spotlight, potentially even afraid of if it's a wise financial investment for you to get into, because there are indications of that later on in the month. You're going to have to make some financial investment in the situation that helps to propel you forward, and that's likely to mean incurring a little bit of debt. And due to that, you may kind of question, is this really a wise choice? It could be that that special someone that we're talking about, that you're perhaps reluctant to talk to, is trying to convince you to invest financially, and you go, I don't really know if that's a good idea. Maybe this is more for their benefit than it is for mine. But trust me, this really is a situation that you can benefit from, albeit one where you're likely going to have to confront some trust issues. Later on in the month, we have Venus conjuncting Saturn. Both of those planets are in a section of the sky that's called Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada represents a person with two different faces. I want to go into that in a brief way, but in a way that you'll probably have a good chance at understanding. So Saturn rules your house of the public and your house of relating to others. As we said, Venus is your success lord. So those two planets kind of coming up against each other places you in a position where you're perhaps concerned about taking on the opportunity of working with somebody else because you're not really sure if you can trust them. But here's the thing, Purva Bhadrapada quite often also represents repressed desires, those things that we want to do, but we kind of don't really let ourselves do them because A, we might think that we're not good enough, or B, we're afraid of taking on the extra responsibility that's involved. And so we begin to repress all those desires of wanting to do a certain thing until subconsciously we splinter off from ourselves, and then we begin to invite people into our life on a certain level that we're not sure that we can trust, when perhaps inside of ourselves we're not fully sure if we can trust ourselves, right? So quite often we get caught up in these games of thinking that if I do this, I have to do this all by myself. It's not good for me to rely upon other people. Really, we're kind of shutting off a side of ourselves. We're thinking that we have to go at something strong and hard and do it all alone. And quite often, if we're thinking that that might be the case, we might do nothing at all. So I want you to scrap all of those different concepts. And if somebody comes to you with an idea this month, and if it is something that you feel like you can actually deal with investing in, even if it requires a certain amount of financial commitment, if this is something that takes you closer to a long-held dream that you've always wanted to fulfill, I highly suggest you let yourself accept the opportunity. If you're afraid of the spotlight, if you're afraid that you'll lose your privacy to a certain extent, we know that this is the type of situation that you're absolutely made for. So take the chance and allow yourself to shine. If you could use a little bit of help with the energies at play this month or anything else, please do feel free to schedule in one of my astrological services. You can find those through my astrological services page, which you will find linked above. That's going to do it for your look at the month of January, Leo. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.